Well, good morning, everyone. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees, but not this time of year. Well, kinda, because I guess the last video I did bees. Welcome to Southeast Louisiana. Well, folks, we are back. I think it's the 19th today. It is the 19th. Is it the 19th? I'm sure it's the 19th. If not, I'll put the date up there. I don't keep up with the date too well. And it is winter time for real here finally. We had our big Arctic blast like everyone else did, and we stayed in the teens for a couple days. We didn't get out of freezing. But it's turned out to be a beautiful day. It's about 45. The wind's blowing, so that makes it a little cool, but I'm out here getting some work done. And these are the things we do in the wintertime. Just a bunch of tedious tasks. I started this video channel with tedious tasks because I started at the beginning of a year showing the average beekeeper in our area what it took me to raise bees. This video channel was made to just show those people that run up and say, oh, I'm gonna get bees, I want to have bees. Show them that it's not just bugs in the box and honey every year and tiptoe through the tulips. No, not at all. Maybe with 1 or 2 hives it is, but not with 20, 30, and 40 hives. Then it becomes work. So anyway, I'm just out here goofing around, taking advantage of the beautiful weather before we get cold again, and I got water boiling because one of the things I'm doing is melting my burr comb. Now, as you can probably see behind me, I have a pot boiling. I like to take advantage of the cool days to do stuff like this because the bees aren't all over the place jumping in my smelly wax. I don't use my nice, fancy, beautiful Maxent melter for this. This is old burr comb. I showed you guys in video year after year. Each year I do this, how I do it, and why I do it. So I won't go through the whole process. I'll link it above as far as one of the videos you can watch. But I'm just going to show you the things I'm doing in a tedious winter day. And I've always told y'all, comb is gold. I save burr comb, and I'll tell you why. I make big blocks of it. Here, let's go look at last year's. That's one of last year's. Now, it's not beautiful, it's not super clean, but I don't need it to be because I use this for maintenance on the hives. Burr comb is usually pretty clean, not full of pesticides because it's not usually that old, you're scraping it. Now, there are some scraped combs in there, things like that, but I didn't get any wax from cutouts this year, so that's all I got. But that's burr comb. That's burr comb from running average of 40 hives. That's burr comb. That's a good amount. I use this hot plate, I throw it in some of it, break it up, put it in there, and I use that to wax my foundations, of which I have a lot to wax this year. Because I finally just gathered up everything I've been throwing in corners in this here barn. And now we've got a lot to wax. But that's great because I got the wax to do it. I got a huge block from the year before of all the cutouts I did. So I saved my burr comb because it yields quite a bit. So I get my pot boiling. And the bees are actually flying right now. It's 45 and cold, windy, but they will fly in this cool weather. They're out there. I saw a few of them around my trees. They're looking for stuff, but you don't have like in 60, 70 degrees, there would be bees everywhere when they smell this wax. So let's throw this in. I'm gonna show you the burr comb I got. I'm gonna throw it in and melt it down. Here's a bag. This is burr comb in some frames. This is some old frames that maybe were old foundationless or whatever left over from years gone past. I save it. Oh, it's still got honey in it. Don't need that all over my gloves, do I? I got my gloves on because I'm also working on something else, so I need to take these off for what I'm doing now. And then this. That's a lot of comb. Now, some of that is old frames. I will say that. It's not all burr comb. You can see pollen. But that's probably about 20 scraped frames, 20 or 30 scraped frames. So that's not the cleanest to comb. So I'm gonna melt it down. I throw this into a hot boiling pot of water. I boil it, I strain it, I pour it into a bucket, I leave it overnight. That's it. I got the table saw out. As you can see, I'm taking old boxes that are all rotten and broke up, and I am cutting shims. Got to be careful, don't cut nails. Y'all seen me do this before. These are old, like this old rotten box. I can salvage probably 6 shims out of this. There's some shims right there, 4 of them. I got like 11 or 12 right there. I mean, feeding shims. That's what I use them for. I already probably got 25 in the barn, so I get me about 50, 60 of these. I always have shims around. They're great for a lot of different things, but for putting pollen patties on with migratory covers, I don't have shims built in my covers. I have like 3 telescopic covers with what you call it, those inner covers, so I don't have many of those. I just don't run them. I don't like them. It's more equipment. I just like a migratory lid or a piece of plywood, honestly. So I'm gonna let that boil up, and I'm gonna cut some more of these. I'll get back with you. Simple as that. I did hit a nail just then, but I'm very careful looking where the nails are at. That blade is shot. I'm not sweating the blade. I'm more worried about safety, but I need a new blade anyhow. But yeah, it's simple as that. I just do those. I mean, feeding shims, who knows what you could use them for. Lots of different things. I even use them when I'm drying my honey. When I bring honey in the honey house, I put one on the bottom so I have airflow through. So meanwhile, this is boiling still, and what I do is I get it down to a low boil. I don't want to burn the wax. And I put my strainer in here because one of the keys is getting that strainer hot. Now, I've already took off one strain, but I want the strainer hot so that it will, if you just dunk it in there cold, it has issues. So I leave it on the steam. Actually, it's not even that hot. And I'll go through and get all this mess out now. I got a lot of wax moth webbing in some of this, and that's a pain. I tried not to use much wax moth wax if it's too far gone, because it's just a pain to get the webbing. The amount of work for the amount of wax that's in that isn't worth it. So anyway, I'm gonna let this heat up. Actually, I'll strain one off, show you what I do. And remember, folks, I'm not doing a how-to video. I'm gonna do a how I do video. Y'all know that. I gotta keep that in mind. Yeah, see, there's a lot of sludge, so I like to get, see, a lot of wax moth stuff. I like to get that initial mess out best I can. So I take this thing and scoop it in here and get us a whole bunch of goop. And I take this and I work it, and it goes right on out of the strainer. I just work it. Nasty, right? But this is great wax for like swarm traps, anything like that. And I go dump this old mess in the woods. I just stir it out of here. Stir it out, and it'll get most of the wax out. Not all of it, of course, we know that, but it gets a lot of it out. So it's one of them days we're just killing time doing errands, doing little chores rather that need to be done, so we're not chasing our tail come March. See, it's pretty much dried out. I'll go dump this in the woods. It's as simple as that, folks. That's what I'm doing. Then when I can't get no more in here with this strainer, I'll put the strainer on a bucket and I'll pour it off, and I'll do the same thing over the bucket. And then I'll just put a piece of plywood over that bucket and let it cool in here. Of course, it's going to be really cold, so it's going to crack pretty bad, but I don't care. It'll be all right. It's going to get melted down and thrown on frames anyway. Hey, there's something else too. When I cut those boxes, I'll tell you something I've done before. I've actually taken deeps that were, you know, the tops were still good, which is rare. Usually the tops rot out first by the where the frame rests are, but I'll take those, and if the frame rests are good and I got rotten spots on the bottom, I'll cut them. If there's enough meat left in the wood, I'll cut into a medium. because I use mediums, so that's always an idea too. Done that. So I finished up cutting these shims. I don't go too crazy getting too far down on some of those because you could probably tell I'm very unprofessional with a saw and probably on the side of dangerous. So I'm very careful. I don't want to say I fear the saw, but I have a very healthy respect for a table saw, router table, things like that. And I used to do all my own boxes. That's one of mine, the rabbit jointed boxes. That Ponderosa pine actually lasts longer than the other pine I get from a lot of the distributors. But at this point, when the wood went up, I couldn't make them cheap anymore. I used to make them for anywhere from $5 to $7 a box, and I could get 2 out of 1 stick of wood. But now they're upwards of 12 and 14 a box, and I can buy them for 16 a lot of times to 20. And in the end, you know, time is money, especially when you work a full-time job. So 25 shims, plus I got another, I got about 50 or 60 shims now. So my video cut off. Batteries don't like the cold either. Anyway, scraping boxes, you know. But again, I think that's wherever I left off. What I was saying was my lids. I scraped them, but I don't like to scrape all the propolis off. The bees will use it again, but I like to get it smooth, you know, for when I put them on boxes. So I just kind of take a light scrape on them. I leave a little bit on. They got a little something to work with, but no reason to take it all off. See? But I do all my stuff like that and just kind of clean it up, get it ready to go so that it's stacked. I get a good inventory on everything and know what I own, what I have, what I need. In the spring, I'll be able to go, oh, okay, I know I got, you know, 30 lids or 25 lids or whatever with whatever I bought, whatever I cleaned. So I like to get all my equipment ready in the winter. I don't build a lot of my equipment like everybody does in the winter. I'll kind of ease into spring and see how things are going, because obviously with limited space, the loft in the honey house and this little barn here, I like to keep my stuff unassembled if I don't need it, you know. It stores better, obviously, so. But because I got enough of these between dead outs and combines and, you know, reducing colonies down. I probably got, I think I counted like 9 boxes or something out here, and then another probably 10 in there. So I got about 19, 20 boxes. So I'm good. See, I just kind of get it smoothed out. I don't want to take it all off because they'll use it again. But that's what I got to do, those chores. That's what I'm doing, folks, here in the winter time. Taking care of a few chores, cleaning some boxes. I'll stack them all up, get them off of this trailer. This is kind of my catch-all where I put everything. I need to clean some frames. I'll do that another time. I'm going to show you what I do. Some I have to pressure wash, some I don't. I hate pressure washing them. I came up with a method that Randy, the dirt rooster, 628 dirt rooster, showed me. I didn't come up with it. He showed it, and I didn't believe him, so I called him and said, "You really do that?" And he said, "Yeah, I do that." I mean, like he would lie in the video, right? He's not gonna lie. And so I tried it, and I just used the tire brush and brushed them clean, and then waxed them with the, you know. Now they're too bad. I gotta at least clean them. So I'm gonna cull what needs honest to goodness pressure washing. Put that to the side, and maybe do that on a nice summer day. But the ones I can do in the cold, which hopefully I'll do tomorrow, because they just clean better in the cold. I can get them all done and stack them to the side, and then we'll go into waxing frames, because we don't want to miss out on that. We got to do some waxings. So I'm going to switch over to tomorrow's video real quick here and let you see how the wax came out. Well, really quick, folks, like I said, I wanted to go ahead and show you the next day of what the wax looks like. So let's real quick take a look and see what we got in the wax. Let's see. All right, yeah, it's still pretty cruddy looking, but that's all right. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do with that in just a second. Let's go dump it and scrape it. There was a lot of honey in this, and I can tell by the thickness of the water. So, oh yeah, that's some thick stuff. A lot of honey in here, a lot of crud, dirt, debris. Look how thick that is. Look how it's warped. It's cold. A lot of sludge in the bottom. This ain't slum gum. This is just debris and sludge. This is just sludge and dirt that comes out. There he scrapes off. That's a deep spot. Then I get to some wax. So this is what I got. I'll wash this off, and what I'll probably do is, you saw that other piece. I'll show you just a second. That other piece I showed you yesterday. Yeah, that piece right there. I'll probably take them both since they're still pretty dirty, and just do a second rendering on them. Because again, this doesn't have to be super clean, because I use this for waxing frames. All this old brood wax and burr comb, I use it for re-waxing frames, things like that. I don't use this for my candles or any lip balms or anything like that. But it usually takes 2 renderings for me, and I just do it, you know, as I have time. It's not because I got enough surplus built up now to keep on the side for frame maintenance. So there you go. I'm gonna go wash this off. But yeah, so about 1 inch. So we're about down to the wax here. It's embedded in there pretty good, and there's no reason to go any further with that. But a second rendering the same way. Put that other block and this one in there. I'll do 1 quick straining. It won't be all those strainers full. It'll be as simple as, you know, get it melted, pour it through a strainer, maybe even throw some cheesecloth in there just to fine strain it, and 1 pour through it, and it'll be fine. It'll work just fine. It'll come out with 1 nice big block of wax. All right, let me get you back to yesterday's video. So there you go. That's the wax. You seen what I did with shims. I'm gonna finish up all these boxes. It's getting kind of cold, like I said. It's getting back down to the 30s now, and the wind's blowing. It'd be beautiful if the wind wasn't blowing, but with the sun going down, the wind blowing on me, it's time to get on in, and got some hot potato soup waiting. May go work in the honey house. I need to stain my observation hive, but that's gonna be it, folks. Hey, this is all we're doing right now in the winter time. Pretty soon, hopefully, the plan was to actually rotate some boxes this week or so, but looks like it's gonna be ice cold again next weekend, so that's probably gonna have to wait for another week or 2, but we'll find something to do, because there's always something going on with the bees. All right, folks, appreciate all your support. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Today, I'm just scraping boxes, showing you how I do. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and may God bless you. We'll see y'all later.